This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It's 4:27 here on your Wednesday morning. I was like, what day is it?
It's midweek.
Midweek.
We're almost to the weekend.
We're getting closer. Thanks for joining us on Good Morning Indiana. We do want to talk about a few stories today.
Yeah, we want to start off with a major traffic alert for you. A number of lanes are going to be closed on Pennsylvania Avenue downtown starting this morning in order for crews to do sewer work. So this is going to have a big impact for anyone coming and going from downtown. This is obviously a main thoroughfare for many people who live and work in the area. So we want you to be aware of this closure. 3 lanes going to be closed on Pennsylvania Street here downtown once again for sewer work. So that is something to be aware of. Now, thankfully, they are expecting to have that wrapped up by tomorrow. So this will only impact you for about a day or two, but still something to be aware of and maybe find an alternate route in the meantime.
Yeah, we're expecting that to get congested today as you're heading into work in downtown. Another story we have for you today has to do with the census. It's been 10 years. They do the census every 10 years to count all the people, make sure that we have the correct representation, make sure that people, cities, towns, the state knows how many people live in the area.
Yeah, the right population.
Yeah.
So the census count is starting in April, but they need people to go door to door and give those censuses out.
Counts.
Yes.
So this is a Hiring Hoosiers opportunity. They're looking for a number of people. So Kelsey Anderson is going to be breaking down how you can get a job with the census, something that you can do in the upcoming months. So we'll talk to her shortly.
And we are counting one meteorologist here on Good Morning Indiana this morning. Todd Clausen here with us. Todd, another kind of just cold winter day ahead of us, but there is some precipitation heading our way.
Yeah, late tomorrow into Friday, that's when we'll get our next storm system. And it'll be a mixed bag. It'll start off as rain and eventually go over to a little bit of wintry mix. But this morning, we don't even have those flurries around like we've had the past 2 days. It is just completely quiet out there with partly cloudy skies. And it's cold once again. Look at those temperatures down into the teens and 20s. 20 in Bloomington, 19 in Kokomo, 21 is the current temperature in Logansport. We'll see increasing clouds here throughout the day today. So the sunshine will be around a little bit this morning, but it is a little bit warmer. Yesterday, we were in the low 30s. Today, we make the jump up into the mid to upper 30s, actually putting us a degree above normal as our normal high is 36 degrees.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Another story we have for you today is in Don't Waste Your Money. We're talking about the most overpriced items that people keep seeming to buy that we maybe need, and they've gone up so much in recent years while other items have remained about the same, maybe even gone down. So we're going to break down what those items are. You may be a little bit surprised. We want you to save some money. So that's coming up right here on Good Morning Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 4:30 on Good Morning Indiana, the impeachment trial of President Donald Trump is underway. We're breaking down the key takeaways from yesterday's 13-hour session.
I'm doing this for my best friend next to me. I'm doing this for, my niece. I'm doing this for my sister because we are all dealing with this.
Sexual violence and stalking is still a major problem on college campuses, and one lawmaker says schools are not doing enough. His plan to protect students.
And a big announcement expected from Butler University today when we could get a first glimpse of the school's new mascot.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, it is 4:30 here on your Wednesday morning. Thanks for waking up early with us on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrett. Meteorologist Todd Clausen here with us. Todd, another cold morning out there. Temps are going to be similar to what they were yesterday.
Yeah, just bundle up. That's the only thing you really have to do here this morning because it is chilly, as Meredith mentioned, but you don't have to worry about any precipitation in the forecast, at least for the day today. The big number at the airport, or not so big, I guess you could say, is 21 degrees. Officially here in Indianapolis will expand out, and everybody's in the same air mass here this morning, so everybody's within a couple degrees of each other, the exception Richmond at 13, but that thermometer seems to always be running just a few degrees cooler than it should be. 16 in Connersville, 20 in Bloomington, pair of twos up in Lafayette. So grab the hat, grab the gloves, and the heavier coat as you walk out the door. Now, we do have clear skies in some areas this morning. Peru over to Muncie to Richmond. but the clouds are going to move in pretty quickly here this morning. So any sunshine you see today, enjoy it, because the clouds will eventually win out. And then you see this precipitation off to our west. It doesn't look that far away mileage-wise, and you would think it would get here later on today, but it's actually going to stay off to our west for a little bit, and it's really not going to arrive in this forecast until we get into the afternoon and evening hours tomorrow. So until then, we are dry. Just again, need to have the winter weather gear handy as you get out the door. 30 degrees, though, by the noon hour. That's the good news. We warm up pretty quickly across the area, and then eventually we'll see our high temperature this afternoon get 1 degree above normal at 37 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here is a live look right now at your commute. This is over on the northwest side, I-465 and West 56th Street. You can see traffic there is moving along just fine. No delays to slow you down. So let's take a turn right now and give you another look from our INDOT traffic camera. This one's over on the northeast side, I-69, a little north of I-465. You can see in this area, traffic is traveling smoothly. A few headlights out there already this morning. But we do have a traffic alert for you this morning. Lane restrictions could have a big impact on your morning drive, especially here in downtown. Citizens Energy Group has closed 3 lanes of Pennsylvania Street between New York and Washington Streets as part of a sewer rehabilitation project. The agency says prepare for traffic congestion today and Thursday, especially during the afternoon rush hour. The lanes are expected to be open by Thursday evening. Well, after a marathon session lasting well into this morning, the Senate has approved rules for the impeachment trial of President Donald Trump.
The rules resolution from Senate Majority Mitch McConnell was approved 53-47. Several amendments proposed by Minority Leader Chuck Schumer failed along party lines. Those included allowing witnesses and documents, but the president's team arguing House Democrats should have gone to the courts if those witnesses were so important.
They don't make a single argument why there shouldn't be witnesses and documents. That speaks volumes.
Obstruction for going to court? It's an act of patriotism to defend the constitutional rights of the president.
Each side now has 24 hours over 3 days to make their opening statements. That will be followed by 16 hours of questioning from senators. A decision on allowing those witnesses and documents will come after opening documents and questioning.
Covering the State House this morning, lawmakers are working on 2 bills related to sex crimes. First, Senator Frank Mervyn of Hammond says that universities and colleges are not doing enough to protect students from sexual violence, domestic violence, and stalking. He's introduced legislation to provide victims better support and educate them on their rights and options. It's an issue that Natalie Mendez says hits close to home for many students. She's a member of the Sigma Psi Zeta sorority at IUPUI, which hosts and participates in events that empower and support people who have been sexually assaulted.
You can ask anybody on our campus and they would probably say that they know 1 or 2 people, or if not more, that have been sexually assaulted, whether that was, on campus or before they have gotten to campus. At the end of the day, it still happens.
Senator Mervyn's bill would also require schools to designate confidential advisors that provide emergency and ongoing support to victims. And a bill that would make it easier for survivors of child sex crimes to seek justice is headed to the full Senate. The proposal would create exceptions to the current statute of limitations on sex crimes against minors. Right now, a person can be prosecuted for those crimes only if the victim is currently under the age of 31. Exceptions include if the new DNA evidence is discovered, if someone confesses, or if there's video or audio of the crime.
A sad update out of northern Indiana this morning. We've learned that a baby that was allegedly exposed to meth from her mother's breast milk has died. According to court documents, 36-year-old Ashley Rands called 911 saying she rolled over onto her 2-month-old while she was sleeping. But the official autopsy and toxicology report showed the infant died from acute methamphetamine intoxication. Rands is now charged with neglect of a dependent, resulting in death.
Hoosier mothers in crisis will soon have more options where they can leave infants safely. More safe haven baby boxes are being installed across the state. A box will be installed at the end of this month at the White River Township Fire Department headquarters in Greenwood. Boxes are also being delivered to Bloomington and Mooresville that will be installed in the coming weeks.
Working for you this morning, we spoke with DPW Director Dan Parker to get an update on road conditions. He says the department is preparing for more potholes to pop up after the recent freeze and thaw cycle. Last week, the department received 986 repair requests and closed almost 600. Yesterday, 14 crews of 6 workers each were out making repairs. Parker says it's important for drivers drivers to report potholes so crews can get them repaired as soon as possible.
Don't assume that someone else has reported the hole. And I can't say this enough. Your first action should not be to go to social media to report a hole. That doesn't translate into a work request. A work request is only derived from calling the MAC, using Request Indy, or going on Request Indy online.
The MAC is the Mayor's Action Center. That number is 317-327-4622. You can also report potholes on highways and interstates by calling INDOT at 317-356-2411.
While your Indianapolis Colts won't be playing in the big game next month, the team will be represented down in Miami. Lowe's is hosting a first-of-its-kind interactive experience called the Hometown Neighborhood. It features custom-built dwellings representing the 32 NFL teams. The Colts home, which is called Blue Stable, features a blue and white football-themed stable with wooden barn-style railings and an archway frame leading to a giant blue horseshoe.
A huge announcement is scheduled at Butler University today, and all signs point to the introduction of the school's new mascot that will eventually take over for the retiring Butler Blue 3. Yesterday, Blue 3, also known as Trip, tweeted this picture. You can see that the board says coming soon, the Butler Blue debut, January 22nd, 2020. Here is the Twitter account for the Butler Blue, also who is going to be known as Butler Blue 4. Stay tuned. We should get our first look at the school's future mascot later this morning. I have a feeling he's probably going to be awfully cute, Lauren.
Pretty cute. All right, a case of the highly contagious coronavirus has been confirmed here in the United States, and more deaths are being reported. Straight ahead, the message from health officials and what they're doing to slow down the spread of that disease.
And if you're one of the millions of people affected by the Equifax data breach, time is running out to take part in the settlement. We'll tell you what you need to do and what the company is offering if you do not choose the cash option. Todd.
And much of the East Coast under the big chill here this morning as temperatures are below freezing in Atlanta, down to 43 degrees right now in Miami, but there are warmer temperatures off to the west, and they'll be working their way in our direction. We'll talk about the warming trend that's heading our way, but also a storm system that's heading our way as well. Coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 4:39. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Doors were even there.
Another major airport is now screening all passengers arriving from China for the highly contagious, deadly coronavirus. Yesterday, O'Hare Airport in Chicago began screening arriving passengers. This after a case was confirmed in the U.S. and news that the death toll from the virus has risen to 9. Today, the World Health Organization is holding an emergency meeting regarding the outbreak, and John Lawrence has the latest.
Concern at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention as the Wuhan coronavirus spreads to the U.S.
We have to be prepared for the worst. I mean, I don't think there's cause for panic on anyone's part, but we certainly need to be following it and watching this very carefully.
This coronavirus, first identified in Wuhan, China, is a cousin of the SARS virus, causing pneumonia-like symptoms. It's been reported in at least 5 countries, including the U.S., when an unnamed male returned to Washington State after a trip to China.
He was hospitalized, and we're very happy to say that he is in satisfactory condition.
Health officials worry air travel may help advance the disease. The CDC is sending dozens of staffers to some U.S. airports to inspect people who are coming from Wuhan.
This is a focused, proactive response to make sure that these particular travelers are getting appropriate screening before they're able to move on to whatever their ultimate destination is.
Health officials say viruses don't respond to antibiotics, and this one can be spread from person to person.
This is flu season, so we wash our hands, we cover our mouths when we sneeze, and when we are ill, we stay home from work so we don't expose other people to infection.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
In Michigan, the Supreme Court says it won't block a lawsuit by residents of Flint. They're suing city officials over the water crisis. Back in 2014, the water supply was switched from the Detroit Water and Sewage Department to Flint River. That led to more than 100,000 people being exposed to elevated levels of lead and an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease, which killed 12 people. Lawyers for the city asked the court to step in, claiming their clients have immunity. But Tuesday, the Supreme Court declined to do so, allowing the suit suit to move forward. Meanwhile, the city is still working to replace contaminated lines.
A hospital in Fayetteville, North Carolina is apologizing after more than a dozen sexual assault victims were billed for their rape kits. Documents show that Cape Fear Valley Medical Center billed 17 victims thousands of dollars, violating a state law. The center has since apologized, saying the patients don't owe anything, but advocates for the victims say the damage is already done.
The number one problem is the victims are unaware they're going to get a bill, and they're sent to their home. You don't know who has access to their home, who knows that they've been raped, who doesn't know they've been raped. The perpetrator could be a husband. So that in itself is putting victims in danger.
Advocates also say some of the bills went to collectors, ending up on the victims' credit reports.
It's 4:45. Outrage this morning after this man, who was convicted of sodomizing a teen in a brutal sexual attack, was pardoned by former Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin. And there's word this morning that he's facing charges for a new crime. Court documents show Dayton Jones was in and out of jail last week, charged with promoting contraband. A closer look at the timeline shows a drug investigation dates back to September, less than 2 months after Jones was pardoned by the outgoing governor. Bevin issued hundreds of pardons before leaving office back in November. He's now under investigation by the FBI for those pardons.
A New Jersey Fire Department's K-9 is making history. Meet Hansel, the first pit bull to become a certified arson detection K-9 officer. The 4-year-old pup was rescued from a dogfighting ring in Ontario, Canada, when he was just 7 weeks old. He was then taken to Throwaway Dogs Project, a nonprofit organization in Philadelphia that rescues unique dogs and trains them to become canines. Hansel graduated from training last week and was sent to the Millville Fire Department. Along with being an arson detection canine officer, he helps the department teach students about fire prevention and safety. What a good boy there. Here at 4:46, Todd's taken a check at our weather.
You know, it's pretty quiet here today. That is the good news. And I know it's not going to be the warmest day for you, but you have to kind of enjoy or do your outdoor activities today, because once we get to tomorrow, that's when rain and even some snow returns to the forecast. 21 degrees, a little bit of a breeze today, but you notice the wind direction. Instead of that northerly component, it's out of the south at 7 miles per hour, and that southerly wind's going to help to bring our temperatures up just a little bit here over the course of the next few days. We're in the teens and 20s this morning, 19 in Crawfordsville, Greencastle, Martinsville, 20 in Greenfield, as well as Peru, and then off to the east, Richmond, you're sitting at 13 degrees. And with that wind, we are able to factor in a little bit of a wind chill this morning, as it feels like it's as cold as 12 degrees in Indianapolis. 11 is your wind chill value as you make your way down into the Bloomington area. 12 is what it feels like up in Peru. So you definitely need the winter weather gear. There's no doubt about that for the day today. A little bit of clear skies off towards the east, but more clouds already starting to increase. So we'll see some sunshine here today. It took us a while to get into it yesterday. Today's kind of the opposite. You'll have it in the morning, but once we get into the afternoon hours, it's less likely that you'll see much in the way of sunshine. And then this snow that's off to our west, that stays there for a little while. It's very slowly going to creep its way off towards the east. So throughout the day today, we are looking at mostly cloudy skies, going then completely overcast later on this afternoon, with a temperature that'll climb up to right around 37 degrees for your afternoon high. Then tomorrow morning, we're looking at temperatures that will be in the 20s and 30s across the area. And tomorrow's a day that we get up probably into the low 40s for your afternoon highs. But here comes the issue, and it's during the evening hours, as rain is set to return to the forecast. So the daytime hours for the most part tomorrow are going to be dry. As we go over to TrueCast, by the time we get to 5:30, southern locations, you're starting to see the rain. It overspreads to the north, and then it's with us throughout the early morning hours on Friday. We've been watching the track of this system, and it looks like now there could be some warmer temperatures that stick around overnight into Friday morning, which would be good news. But I'm not completely ready to rule out the chance of maybe a little bit of a wintry mix mixing in during the morning hours on Friday. But then as temperatures climb, once the sun comes up Friday, we go back over to all rain. And it's going to be a pretty dreary day for us throughout the day on Friday. And then even into the day on Saturday, we are looking at the potential again of a wintry mix. It's not a super soaker of a rain, but the ground's still pretty saturated. Not expecting flooding, but some pumps might be going all across central Indiana once again by the time we get to Saturday morning. Once we get beyond the weekend, temperatures moderate, Lauren, as we'll be into the mid to upper 40s by Monday, Tuesday.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here's a live look right now at I-65 and Southern Avenue on the south side. You can see traffic in this area is traveling up to speed. No delays to slow you down. So let's take one more look at this hour at your commute. This is our INDOT traffic camera at US 31, a little south of 116th Street to our north. You can see traffic there traveling northbound and southbound, moving along up to speed. No crashes to report around central Indiana at this early hour, but of course we'll continue to keep our eye on things and we'll keep you updated if you need to reroute. If you were impacted by the massive Equifax data breach back in 2017, you are running out of time to take part in that settlement. The deadline to file a claim or sign up for credit monitoring is today. The breach exposed the personal information of more than 147 million people. If you file a claim, you could get money, but the Federal Trade Commission warns it probably won't be much. The credit monitoring option is for 10 years. The website is equifaxbreachsettlement.com.
Disney is pushing up the European debut of its streaming service, Disney Plus. Disney fans in the UK, Ireland, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Austria, and Switzerland will all have access starting in March. The company plans to launch in other countries, including Belgium, the Nordic countries, and Portugal by this summer. Disney Plus has gained a significant following, with 10 million subscribers joining on the first day it launched in the U.S. Disney expects to have 60 to 90 million subscribers across the world by 2025.
It is 4:50. You could have a hand in naming the next Mars rover. NASA originally received 28,000 pitches from students ranging from kindergarten to high school. That list was then narrowed down to 9 finalist names. They are endurance, tenacity, promise, perseverance, vision, clarity, ingenuity, fortitude, and courage. You can vote for your favorite online on NASA's website, mars.nasa.gov. Polling is open until Monday. The winner will be announced on March 15th.
A 3-year-old is making history across the pond. Coming up, the exclusive club he is now the youngest member of.
And coming up all new at 5 o'clock, the census will get underway in the Hoosier State in just a few months, and they need your help. Our Kelsey Anderson is live this morning with details on why it's important to take part and how you can snag a job helping out. But first,
I'm Vinny Politan. Coming up today on Court TV, day 1 of the Harvey Weinstein rape trial. Prosecutors say he is a sexual predator, but Harvey Weinstein and his defense team say all of these encounters with all these women were consensual. Harvey Weinstein facing the potential of life in prison. Opening statements today. We will be bringing it to you live all day long from our Court TV studios right here in New York City. That's coming up today on Court TV.
Vinny, thanks. Don't forget you can watch the all-new Court TV live on your mobile device by visiting CourtTV.com. We'll be right back.
Channel.com.
Welcome back. A 3-year-old Malaysian boy living in the UK has officially become the youngest member to join Mensa UK. The organization is the largest and oldest international high IQ society in the world. Mohammed Nazim has an IQ of 142. It puts him in the top 99.7% of the world's smartest people. His mom says she knew he was special even before the test. At 2, she says he was reading entire storybooks to himself. Nazim is still just a typical 3-year-old who loves to sing, paint, and read books.
All right, speaking of smarts, do you think you have what it takes to stump Jeopardy's greatest champion of all time? If so, now is your chance to go one-on-one with Ken Jennings. Next month, he'll be at DePaul University. Jennings will speak as part of the school's Oven Lecture Series on February 25th at 7:30. He will also do a Q&A where audience members can try to stump him with their own trivia questions. The event is free and open to the public, but you better get there early. There are no tickets and seating is first come, first serve. Now, I know, Todd, yesterday during the noon, I asked you what weather trivia you would ask Ken about and try to stump him with. So I was thinking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
I would totally go Bravo trivia on him, you know, the channel Bravo, and go some like Real Housewives, like
stuff
obscure.
that you think that he wouldn't.
Yes, that's how I would stump him.
All right. You stumped me too, because I haven't seen any of those shows either.
He's like, I don't even know the most basic question.
I do know there was the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills in New Jersey, right?
There you go.
That's
yes, good job. Good start.
All right, outside right now, we're talking about chilly temperatures once again. You'll definitely need to bundle up, but it's a pretty quiet day of weather for us. Just not a ton in the way of sunshine today, 37 degrees. Lots of clouds tomorrow. Rain overspreads the area tomorrow evening, and then it's kind of a wintry mix early Friday before going over to all rain once again. And then on Saturday, on the backside of that system, a wintry mix. But after that, pretty quiet with above normal temperatures to start next week. The time now is 4:58. Stay with us. We'll be right back.